Alright guys, today we're going to take a look at this Habo. I got this from Scruffy, who lives in Paradise. Truly. Paradise, Norway. I looked it up. Lives in a really nice house. That looks like it right there. No, maybe not. But if he had enough money, he could live there. And he'd probably have a Habo lock. These are very common locks. They're sold in every hardware store. So I guess in Norway these are like master locks, but they're nothing like master locks. You can see they have some anti-drill there, and when you take a look at the key, you can see we have a lot more than 4 pins in this bad boy. It's a 7-pinner. It works very smoothly, and I can tell you, I've opened these before, they're also chock full of security pins. One thing about these locks though, on the back of the lock itself, you can see it's got the number there, and that's actually the bitting of this lock, provided of course nobody's modified it. In this case, this is a brand new one. On the key itself, it also has that stamped into the bow of the lock. That's the bitting. So if somebody reads this, they could actually have another key made. So just protect yourself. Don't make it easy. Cover that up with tape if you have bitting on the bow of your lock. Or better yet, get yourself a punch and permanently disfigure it. If you ever need another key made, they can always read the existing key and copy it that way. They don't really need that. That just makes things easier for criminals. Anyway, back to this guy. Let's take a look at this Habo, and I'm going to clamp it up. Let's see if we can't pick this 7-pinner open today. Alright, this still has the original pinning. What I don't know is if Scruffy has repinned this thing to be a challenge lock. But either way, we got to take a crack at it. I'm going to try to fit top of the keyway. Maybe not that one. That one's kind of sloppy. Let me try that red one again. If I really mash it, I think I can get it in there. And that way it gets me good control of that. In case it is a security pin in there, I got full control of that cord. Let me zoom in. So we're already starting out bullying this thing. All right, let's try to let some of the picks do the work for us. I'm going to take a rake, and let's see if we can just rake up a fault set maybe. At least get started on this thing. And I got nothing. It's worth a try. All right, I am going to take... It is a kind of an open keyway, and a 15,000 will actually let me pick from the bottom of this keyway and get around this warding and kind of reach up in there. It's going to bend the pick a little bit, but I think it'll work. Alright, stop flapping your lips. Let's get on it. I'm going to have moderate tension, and I'm going to try to find a binder for usually the first one is easy. After that, things get a little... Alright, something in the back. There we go. That was pin number 7. Look how deep that pick is in there. Alright, so he was the binder. From this point on, I'm going to lighten my tension. And you got to do it the hard way. Okay, I'm on 5. Okay, I got a little click, and I felt a very slight turn on the core. Pin 2 is binding. I got a very slight turn on the core there. Quit messing with it. At this point, I think I should be looking for counter rotation. Unless it's all T-pins. What I am noticing is in the very back, this 15,000th is dragging on the keyway. I may have to go to a thinner pick, actually. Okay, I'm getting counter rotation there on, looks like 3. And I got a good click, got a good fault set going. All right, this 15,000 is actually dragging too much. I'm going to pull out the secret weapon. This is from Rare Element Lockpicks. 13,000. So let me get around that bend in the top, because I think we're probably after a high cut pin at this point. And there it is. Pin 6. Okay, we got a good fault set going now. Okay, we're on 5. I'm getting some counter rotation, telling me he's probably a spool. About to break the pick. And there we go. I thought it'd be a little harder than that. It's definitely not a challenge pin to lock. This is probably stock from the store. Still, it's got some security pins in it. I think it'd be cool to take a look inside. And I hope to be able to show off some new tools that you guys talked me into buying. Maybe. Maybe not. Alright, we do have a key. I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about this thing here. I think I have to... I actually bought some of these guys. Let me grab one here. Some of you guys were telling me what a fool I was to buy junk tools off of the internet. Circlips. And so you talked me into trying out... not this guy. Trying out this guy. Nipex. And I was hoping to be able to use it on this guy, but I don't think it's going to happen. Yeah, I don't think even this fine tip on this Nipex is not going to fit in there. And with this tailpiece, I don't think. I think I'm going to have to go old school on him again. I hate to do it, but got to open that up somehow. There's probably another tool out there that... Let me lock him up so we don't... No, he's... That was dumb. Get a stiff pick. Push that guy around. Get him locked back correctly. Now maybe I've made that gap wide enough to stick the brand new Nipex into. And there we go. Now we get that nasty tail piece off. Now I can fit him in there. Alright, right tools make all the difference when you supplement it with a sharp probe. Alright. Let's go and move all this stuff out of here. Let's get the tray in here. And turn him up probably about like that. And get this guy. I'm going to put we have a gap in there. And if there is a T-pin, it'll fall right down the side of that thing. So I'm going to take a shim just to bridge that gap. See if we can make this work. Ah, man. How could this be more screwed up? Stick that in there. There's something definitely snagging up that shim. All right, now let's try it. I'm hoping it'll ride it. Nope, it's getting snagged up as I try to put him in there. So it's probably for sure a T-pin of some kind. All right, let's do it the... No, I can't really do it the hard way either because that T-pin will still fall into that gap. Do not want that to happen. Oh, man. All right, let me turn him a full 90. See if I can put that shim all the way in. No, he's definitely snagged on somebody. He doesn't even want to come out now. Yeah, got him. Go for broke, Bill. Nope, that's not going to work. That is definitely getting hung up on that first pin. All right, so let me try to turn them like that. Try it from a different angle. There may be something drilled into the core that's catching these pins. Nope. Come on. Definitely not working, guys. We almost got it. There it is. I have no idea, unless something was getting caught in those anti-drill pin holes. They are recessed very slightly there. I don't know, but definitely you saw it. Something was snagging up. Hopefully we'll find it. Okay, we got a standard. 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 And a standard. Completely stock. Let's see if those little guys come out. I'm talking about the anti-drills. They don't. All right, that's that guy. Let's look upstairs and find out what was giving that shim so much trouble. All right, we got a nice spool. All right, Christmas tree. Yes. Looks like a Asa Christmas tree. Another spool. Another Asa Christmas tree. I'm wondering if that's what got caught. Because it was right about there. Okay, there's our shim. So that was the one. Oops. That was the one that was hanging up on the shim, because the shim is back there hung up on that hole. So let's go ahead and pull that shim out the back. In fact, let's slide this all the way through and gut the rest of them from the back side. He's really caught on something back there. All right, let's see what we got. Okay, there's our standard pin. There's another Asa Christmas tree. There's another spool. So it looks like we're alternating back and forth here. Okay, and the rest of it is already on the tray, Bill. All the springs look like all stock. They're all coming right to the very top edge. So nothing special there. So all the magic was in the pins themselves. There's another one. All right, here's what we got, guys. All alternating, starting off with spools. So spool, Christmas tree, etc. on down the line until we get to the last one, and it's a standard to keep it from flopping around too much when everything's caught up on the security pin. So that probably was the first one I had to pick before I started getting false sets. Anyway, fellas, there you go. The Habo. Not so difficult to pick open, but it's hell to gut. Anyway, thanks, guys. Appreciate your time. Stay safe. Stay legal. Don't forget to cross off the number from your key. Thanks, guys.